Welcome back. My name is Brandon, better known as the Had Not, and I'm here to talk about They Cloned Tyrone on Netflix, directed by Juel Taylor. Welcome to my channel. While it might be possible that you haven't heard of Juel Taylor yet, trust and believe he's an end-to-end filmmaker. Any role you can think of on set, he's probably served in it. Sound, producer, grip, an electric, actor, you name it. If you take a look at his IMDb page, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now that I think of it, I don't think I've been this impressed with a Netflix original since His House by Remy Weeks. They Cloned Tyrone is just that good, in my personal opinion, but I think that if you watch it, you're gonna love it. John Boyega might be a name that you're a little bit more familiar with. He's been in 3 Star Wars movies, Breaking, Small Axe, Attack the Block, and many more projects. And then of course there's the beloved Jamie Foxx, a multi-hyphenate, super talented celebrity, known for his music, acting roles in television and movies. He can dance, he can sing. You know who Jamie Foxx is, don't play with me. And last but not least, there's Teyonah Parris, known for If Beale Street Could Talk, Candyman, Chirac, Dear White People, the movie, and also WandaVision, which is a beloved Marvel Studios project on Disney+, and she is excellent in that. Highly recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it yet. So what's so good about They Cloned Tyrone, you might ask? Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and say that I love everything about this film, from the texture, the color grade, the cinematography, the performances from the main cast. Everything is just done so well. It's a story that's not made any less by its simplicity. In fact, that's the thing that works so well for it. If you've ever watched any Scooby-Doo episode, you can follow along with the mystery and just have so much fun along the way. That's why Juel Taylor is somebody who I am really putting on my radar to anticipate for his future projects, because They Cloned Tyrone is something that feels original while taking familiar concepts from sci-fi, from people getting cloned to the government having this conspiracy cover up to a community coming together trying to solve this issue or waking up to an issue. You might be able to point out some of these things in a lot of different movies, but I just really enjoyed the way that he brought them all together for his. Fontaine is played by John Boyega, and he's a complicated character, and I just love the way that he was written and performed. Fontaine wakes up every day and it's the same dream, or maybe a nightmare. He goes into his community, he does the same routine every single day. Fontaine is somebody who has a background of pain. He feels aggression, disdain for his community because of the way that it's deteriorating. Although he might be contributing to those issues, he is still very aware of it, and he does what he can to try to stop it. With Jamie Foxx's character, Slim Charles, you have somebody who is, from the jump, clearly flawed, but hilarious. I like when people make complicated characters lovable. Even if you gotta sift through all of the grimy stuff that they do and say, you just realize that they're a person on screen, and every character in this movie kind of felt like that, especially the main 3. When Yoyo, performed by Teyonah Parris, joins in on the group, that's when it's adventure time. You end up having so much fun just watching the 3 of them get together and have this sort of banter and handle situations differently. Every time there's something to be found, there's like a mission going on. You got Fontaine, who's a loose cannon at times, Yoyo, who is more of the stealth type of person, and Slick Charles, who is probably more reluctant to go ahead and go into the fire or charge the beachfront. And once you start to get used to these different personalities between these characters, every time they get into something, you anticipate what's going to happen, and it's always fun. Jamie Foxx especially, he's hilarious in this film. I really just gotta give it up to John Boyega though for his emotional quality of his performance. John Boyega offers up something where we look at Fontaine initially as somebody who's got anger issues, and then we start to feel bad for him because of things that he experiences on screen that you know he hasn't processed yet. And when certain discoveries pop up, you see him just sort of let it all out in a way that feels so authentic. It can be really hard to tell that John Boyega is not from the US. The way that he plays this role is just so good. And if you haven't seen his movie Breaking, you should watch that, because that's the first time I think I saw John Boyega just go really deep into a role playing as an American character, to the point where it was just almost undetectable that he wasn't from here. So that just speaks to his range. He is a terrific actor. I keep on thinking that he's reached his peak of surprising me, but he just keeps on doing it with his performances, and yeah, just give him all his things. He gets another applause. You're a genius, John Boyega. If you see this, you're a genius. Just as much as there was something worth talking about or discussing with Fontaine's character, I think that Yoyo was pretty fascinating too. Yoyo has dreams and aspirations, and there's a moment in the film where she gets to talk about that, about what would have been or could have been had things gone a different way. And I think that people watching this movie, as funny as it is, this might be a more serious moment to make you see the depth of these characters, and also maybe the tragedies behind the discovered reality of their situation. Yeah. They Cloned Tyrone. I think I found myself liking it so much because of that grungy texture that I was talking about before. It feels like the series Atlanta, and there's just something about that where if you use that texture that you can see through the film grain, it just puts me in a place where I feel immersed into that. You know that this is a low-income community on the screen. You know that this is a place where people are sort of struggling and getting by however they can. And the use of that texture successfully implies those things. And that just makes everything feel more natural. It makes the environments feel more lived in, especially as you start to go deeper into the conspiracy. David Alan Grier's brilliance stands out once again in this film. He is in a scene that takes place in a church, and it's just high energy all the way through. Like I said, this is a non-spoiler review, so I won't give any real details or anything like that, but I just want to share some love and talk about how great that was. Matter of fact, I might just start filming spoiler reviews just for this channel and just make my written reviews the non-spoiler ones, because I've been wanting to talk about this stuff with y'all, and it's kind of hard to not say things when I'm talking straight to you. Who knows? Honestly, y'all need to give They Cloned Tyrone the same energy that y'all give to Stranger Things. I said what I said. I would order a whole Netflix series of it instead of it just being a movie. I'm okay that it's a movie. I would even love a sequel or two. As a Netflix series, I feel like this would have been really fun as well. For us to have something when it comes to that, especially when you got amazing actors like John Boyega, Jamie Foxx, Teyonah Parris, David Alan Grier, a couple other people who I think are sort of cameos in the film, so I don't want to mention them just yet. You're just going to have to watch it. I'm going to watch this film again for sure in the next couple days. And I'm dead serious about rewatching this film. I feel like it has a lot of replay value to it. Every time you watch it, you might catch a little something as far as like extra details, in the same way that people were rewatching Jordan Peele's Get Out and his second movie, Us. It's full of fun energy, and it doesn't even feel like it has a runtime of 2 hours and 2 minutes when you're watching it. At least it didn't to me. As far as actual critiques of the film go, I have them, but they delve into sort of spoiler territory. I'm just gonna say that a point towards the end where Fontaine sort of reaches a certain level of understanding about his place in all of this, boy, this is so hard to not do a spoiler review in the middle of a non-spoiler review. I think that Fontaine's revelation could have been a bit deeper than what it was. That is just a personal take. Then again, I understand that there's only so much that you can fit in 2 hours, and the filmmaker's decision is the filmmaker's decision at the end of the day. Of the films that John Boyega stars in, this one and Attack the Block are neck and neck for me on the level of just fun and originality that they have. Attack the Block, if you haven't seen it, you need to turn this video off and go watch it right away. After you watch They Cloned Tyrone, if you haven't seen that yet. Even if you have seen They Cloned Tyrone, you need to just go and watch that again. Go watch it and bring somebody extra with you, because it's just that great. I mean, if you ever watched an episode of the Boondocks and liked it, you're gonna like this movie. If you ever watched a season or two of Atlanta and liked it, you're gonna like They Cloned Tyrone, because it fits right in there with those types of projects that have this type of commentary and does it stylistically and does it with so much humor ingrained in it that it feeds you the message without bashing you over the head with it. And that to me is a win. They Cloned Tyrone may leave you with a lot of questions, perhaps more so than the answers. I can say that if you find yourself confused about this film, you might not be alone. That's why it's worth a rewatch. I know I've told you to rewatch this a couple times in this review, but I really think that if you found yourself a bit confused, if you missed something, that it'll be fun to just kind of go back and catch different details. If you're unfamiliar with sci-fi stories of cloning and all those sorts of things, then I urge you to just watch more sci-fi and read more books. These types of things are almost always fun when they're done in a unique way like this. You could take any community or any problem and add some truth into it, and it's gonna be good. And that's why Juel Taylor wins with They Cloned Tyrone and Netflix wins with this as a new streaming edition. And once you get to the end of this film, it's like a slam dunk, a touchdown, a field goal. It's just done right. So, good job. It's I don't know what else to say. I will sing this film's praises for the rest of the year and beyond. Yeah, it's 2023 has been a great year so far for black films, black projects, from black producers, screenwriters, actors. I mean, after the fun that was had in the blackening in theaters, this was great. And it kind of was bittersweet though, watching They Cloned Tyrone after that, because it made me think, oh man, if this came out in theaters, it would have been so much fun. Can you imagine just being in the theater with all of your friends or all the skin folk? Just how much fun it would have been to be in a theater watching They Cloned Tyrone. This would have been great. And I know that Netflix does sometimes do like select theatrical releases, but if I could have seen this in the theater with a bunch of folks on like a Friday night, it would have been amazing. Despite the fact that it wasn't released in theaters, it still had a great impact on me once the credits rolled. And my wife and I were just very pleased with the 2 hours and 2 minutes that we spent watching this movie. And there it is. That's my review of They Cloned Tyrone. It's great. All of the actors did great. And we just want more of this. We want like a million more projects like these. From the Juel Taylors, the Jordan Peels, the Donald Glovers, the Misha Greens, the Regina Kings, the Nia DaCostas. We just need everybody to just come together and keep on making such dope material. I myself am a filmmaker, and every time I see a movie that's this good, I'm like, oh, I wish that was me. But it's all love, and I love seeing great projects because these things inspire me endlessly. If you're a filmmaker and you want to make a story, this should be the motivator to let you know, like, hey, write that screenplay. Shoot that movie that you want to shoot. Whatever it is you want to do, get out there and do it. Because these people are up and coming. They were up and coming filmmakers like you and I, and they're making these things that are making major noise in the industry, and I just think that that's beautiful. So there it is. There's my review of They Cloned Tyrone, written and directed by Juel Taylor. Thanks for watching. See you next time.